Welcome to Adventure Life with Bob. Come with Laura and I as we explore Hole in the Rock Road. This road is about 6 miles south of the town of Escalante, Utah, off of Highway 12. We camped at a place just about a half a mile from the main highway. It's a beautiful area, lots of campsites, and it's on a first-come, first-served basis. And that's where we're based out of for the next couple of days. In 1879, 250 men, women, and children with 80 wagons and over 1,000 head of stock ventured through Escalante and were determined to establish a new settlement community east of the Colorado River in southeast Utah. They courageously blazed their way through some of Utah's most rugged and uncharted territory, which included carving a road through a crevice in the canyon wall of the Colorado River, which we will see later. "12 miles down this dirt road, you'll come to Devil's Garden. We won't spend much time on it here because we've already done a video on it, and I'll leave a link in the description below, but it is worth the stop and exploring. This group of Mormon Pioneers were sent here by the church leadership on October 22nd, 1879. The people left Escalante and started south. By the 20th of November, 236 men, women, and children with over 1,000 head of horses and cattle camped at 40 Mile Springs near Dance Hall Rock. The pioneers camped for nearly 2 months in this area, waiting for the road to be built to the Colorado River. This large sandstone amphitheater made a wonderful campsite for weary pioneers. Accompanied by the music of violins, they entertained themselves and danced away their worries. If you're still quiet, you can imagine the festive spirit that still resonates from these rocks. This is a beautiful sight for the whole family to enjoy. Even Laura and I got caught up with the sounds we thought we could still hear resonating from the rocks. As we continued our journey to the Colorado River, we were amazed at how these pioneers made their way through this rugged country. About 40 miles from the beginning of the road, you'll come across Carcass Wash. This is a major obstacle for the expedition. It was also the site of a terrible accident that took the lives of 7 scouts and 6 adult leaders in June 10, 1963. They were on the way on a flatbed truck to the river to float it when the truck lost control, rolled backwards, and then rolled over, killing a total of 13 people. You can still see a monument that was erected in their honor. Our final push to the river was still over some very rough and broken ground. However, as you travel, you will find parking places for trailheads that allow you to explore some of the very rugged and remote areas of this part of the country. As we get closer to the river, we can see the notch that marks Hole in the Rock. This is the place where the pioneers chiseled and blasted their way down through this narrow crevasse and made their way to the Colorado River. The workers who worked on this section were plagued with a lack of wood, forage for cattle, the bitter cold weather, and diminishing food supplies. Blasting powder and picks were used to widen or fill various sections of the crevasse. At the lower part of the hole, a road was constructed on the side of a sheer cliff wall. Although a 3-foot shelf had already existed, an extension of the shelf was formed by driving 2-foot stakes into the rock and then piling vegetation and rocks on top of that. This portion of the trail was nicknamed Uncle Ben's Dugway in honor of its engineer, Benjamin Perkins. After 6 weeks of picking, chiseling, drilling, blasting, and digging, Hole in the Rock Road was complete. On the 26th day of January, the first wagon went down Hole in the Rock. A journal of one of the pioneers said, "The first 40 feet down, the wagon stood so straight in the air, there was no desirable place to ride." 26 wagons went down the first day, and by the 30th of January, all the wagons had come down the rock and across the river, marking their halfway point to their destination. As Laura and I walked down Hole in the Rock, it was impossible to even imagine how they could get wagons down here. It was steep, rocky, and dangerous. You can still see in the side of the walls places where they chiseled, where they drilled and blasted, and even some of their names carved into the rock. We were humbled. It was hard to visualize how wagons could come down this, but if you look at this painting we saw at the visitor center, it might give you an idea. After building rafts and crossing the river, the pioneers faced another 140 miles of road building across slick rock through cedar forests, around steep canyons, and over very treacherous and unforgiving terrain. After traveling 6 months on a trip that was supposed to take 6 weeks, the worn-out travelers settled several sites, including Bluff, Utah, along the San Juan River. Thank you for watching this about our latest adventure to Hole in the Rock. If you like this video, please hit the like button and please subscribe to our channel, Adventure Life with Bob. Thank you.